and excluding Indians taxed 3/5 of all other persons. Now when you get the opportunity, I want you to go back and I want you to review that section. That's in section 2, article 1 of the Constitution. That can be somewhat some homework, a little bit of research for you to do. I'll read it again right quick. Representatives and direct taxes shall be apportioned among the several states, which may be included within this union, according to their respective numbers, which shall be determined by adding the whole number of free persons, including those bound to service for a term of years, and excluding Indians not taxed, 3/5 of all other persons. The actual enumeration shall be made within 3 years after the first meeting of the Congress of the United States, and within every subsequent term of 10 years, in such manner as they shall by law direct. The number of representatives shall not exceed 1 for every 30,000, but each state shall have at least 1 representative until such enumeration shall be made. The state of New Hampshire shall be entitled to choose 3. Massachusetts, 8. Rhode Island and Providence Plantations, 1. Connecticut, 5. New York, 6. New Jersey, 4. Pennsylvania, 8. Delaware, 1. Maryland, 6. Virginia, 10. North Carolina, 5. South Carolina, 5. And Georgia, 3. How many of y'all heard of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations? So for everybody who has not heard of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations, why don't you write it down and find out what that is? Because you've heard of the state of Rhode Island, and you heard of the state, well, Providence is in Rhode Island right now, but you heard of the state of Massachusetts. Well, Google that and see what that's about. Because it's in the Constitution, so that term, that word plantation should have caught everybody's. When vacancies happen in a representation from any state, the executive authority thereof shall issue writs of election to fill such vacancies. The House of Representatives shall choose their speaker and their other officers, and shall have the sole power of impeachment. Section 3. The Senate of the United States shall be composed of 2 senators from each state, chosen by the legislature thereof, for 6 years, and each senator shall have 1 vote. Immediately after they shall be assembled, in consequence of the first election, they shall be divided as equally as may be into 3 classes. The seats of the senators of the first class shall be vacated at the expiration of the 2nd year, the second class at the expiration of the 4th year, and the third class at the expiration of the 6th year, so that 1/3 may be chosen every 2nd year, and if vacancies happen by resignation or otherwise during the recess of the legislature of any state, the executive thereof may make temporary appointments until the next meeting of legislature, which shall then fill such vacancies. Now, you heard me say that they are elected for a period of 6 years. But at the expiration of every 2nd year, that they do elections. 1 of the first class, and at the 4th year, the 2nd class, and at the 6th year, the 3rd class. You can either Google that, or you can go to the class that we did on the Constitution, because I thoroughly broke that down so people will clearly understand. See, when you're talking about people who are making decisions for people, you should know what their jobs are. You should know what their duties are. You should know what their rights and their capabilities are. This Constitution lays it all out right here for you. That can be a bit more homework. No person shall be a senator who shall not have attained the age of 30 years and been 9 years a citizen of the United States, and who shall not, when elected, be an inhabitant of the state for which he shall have been chosen. The Vice President of the United States shall be the President of the Senate, but shall have no vote unless they be equally divided. The Senate shall choose their officers, and also a President pro tempore in absence of the Vice President, or when he shall exercise the office of President of the United States. The Senate shall have sole power to try all impeachments. Who has the power of impeachment? No. We just read it. It says the Senate shall have the sole power to try all impeachments. So who has the power of impeachment? The House of Representatives. When sitting for that purpose, they shall be on oath or affirmation. When the President of the United States is tried, the Chief Justice shall preside, and no person shall be convicted without the concurrence of 2/3 of the members present. Judgment in cases of impeachment shall not extend further than the removal from office and a disqualification to hold and enjoy any office of honor, trust, or profit under the United States. But the party convicted shall nevertheless be liable and subject to indictment, trial, judgment, and punishment according to the law. Section 4. The times and places and manner of holding elections for senators and representatives shall be prescribed in each state by the legislature thereof. But the Congress may at any time, by law, make or alter such regulations except as to the places of choosing senators. The Congress shall assemble at least once every year, and such meeting shall be the first Monday in December, unless they shall by law appoint a different day. The Congress shall assemble at least once in every year, and such meeting shall be on the first Monday in December, unless they shall by law appoint a different day. See, when I read that, that makes me think about something, right? When was it that they had that secret meeting? Christmas Day? What happened? No. We ain't talking Berlin. I'm waiting for somebody to tell me what I'm
talking about the bankers' holiday? Yes.
Who?
We talking about the bankers' holiday? Yes.
What happened?
Oh, what happened during the bankers' holiday?
What happened?
They drafted the Federal Reserve Act.
Right. Right.
That was a secret meeting?
Right.
Yeah, it was a secret meeting
Over the Christmas holiday?
on Jekyll Island.
But the Congress shall assemble at least once in every year, and such meeting shall be on the first Monday in December, unless by law they appoint a different day.
You're right. But they did anyway.
Who appointed that day?
Who was appointed?
Yeah, so they didn't meet on the 1st December to do that.
No.
And the first Monday in December to do that.
It was Christmas.
They did that over the Christmas when they was on break for Christmas, right?
Right. Right. Right.
Go ahead.
And they didn't have the authority to do it anyway.
Y'all get what I'm going? Let me take y'all with me.
Did it come?
They had a secret meeting, Congress, some senators. They had a secret meeting. And then they came up with, it's not a said, Federal Reserve Act. And they telling you that it's law. Now we already established that after 1861, that Congress is a fraudulent Congress. That Congress doesn't have the people's best interests. That Congress has their pockets' best interests, their prosperity's best interests. They don't eat the same foods you eat. They don't go to the same schools you go to. They don't even got the same health care. Y'all know that they got the health care that they...
Universal.
Y'all hear about how much people pay in health care? Some people, y'all know what kind of health care they got?
Universal. Free.
Their health care is banking. They can get whatever they need, whatever they want. They can go to whatever doctor, they can go wherever they want. And exactly. They got the health care that you should have. They're supposed to be representing you. But instead, they're taking finance from the pharmaceutical companies, they're taking finance from them insurance companies to pass certain legislation to keep you where you are. But they're supposed to be representing you. Now, when they take that oath, when they stand there, they put their hand on that book, and they take that oath, they're supposed to be bound by law, right? It don't matter which book it is. If I want to, I can get Miss Phyllis to hold this, and I can put my hand, because it's my book, right? This is the book that I believe in. So it don't matter which book it is, I put my hand on it, and I hold my right hand up, and I say, I duly affirm to do this, that, or the third. Now, if I take that oath, I'm bound by that oath. And then if I break that oath, then I'm bound by the law. Nobody's nobody calling the law.
4-0.
4-0? What's 4-0?
4 is prior to May 10th. O is after May 10th. And they adopted for the foreign corporation that was bankrupt as their private law. And therefore people can't use it.
She missed what you said, Josh.
Say it again.
She missed what you said.
Before, 4 is the legitimate order set up between the Muslims and the deists. That's the republic. After May 10th of 61, it became O because the corporation that went in bankrupt in 1860, they converted the debt onto our people, and it became private law. You can't use it as a defense because it's private. United States of America, the Constitution of the United States is private French law.
So we would have to put ourselves back.
Constitution for the United States is American law. It's
See, this
actually a pledge to the popes of Rome, to the secret treaty of Verona, and they set up, when the overthrow took place, they set up a kingship oligarchy, and that's what people have been living under.
Right.
This is why the prophet said, I need to get my people back into the constitutional code of government. Actual constitution. This is why I said to you 20 minutes ago, if you hear me speak of the Constitution, I'm only talking 7 articles and 10 bill of rights. I'm not talking about Article Amendment 26. Section 5. Each house shall be the judge of the elections, returns and qualifications of its own members, and the majority of each shall constitute a quorum to do business. But a smaller number may adjourn from day to day, and may be authorized to compel the attendance of absent members in such manner and under such penalties as the House may provide. Each House may determine the rules of its proceedings, punish its members for disorderly behavior, and, with the concurrence of 2/3, expel a member. Y'all ever heard of any senators or congressmen getting kicked out?
Yes.
Nope.
Yes.
He can't even get kicked out. He got locked up.
Okay.
He got locked up and then got assassinated 30 years after the fact.
Wasn't there one before Sunday
Oh.
I don't know. I'm asking y'all. If y'all ever heard of any that now listen, a couple years ago there was a senator who was a pervert who got caught in the bathroom stomping his feet for some homosexual acts. Right? Huh? I don't know his name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. You stomp on the floor and that mean I'm with it. Right? So why wasn't he expelled from Congress? Son.
There's only one, Brother James Tropicon.
We already spoke about Tropicon. See, Tropicon got locked up.
Right, after.
Right? They went after him and put him in jail.
Right, yes.
Right? But they put him in jail for speaking truths.
Yes.
So I'm not talking about Tropicon.
Okay, I got you.
Tropicon's our friend.
Right.
I'm talking about people like the pervert who didn't get expelled,
Oh, right.
who was all over the news. I'm talking about these senators and these congressmen who used the finance that they collect from the people to travel to Argentina to sleep. You understand? That's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Right? But this Constitution is supposed to hold them in check.
Yes.
But if we don't understand this Constitution and we don't read it, we don't know that. And this is the job of the natural people
Yes.
to use this Constitution to hold these people in check.
Right.
It's not, bro.
It's only been one senator to be impeached, and his name was Senator Blunt, July 7, 1797.
Oh, shit. 1797. Shh. There's been a whole lot of perverts since then. That's a couple years ago.
There's still 400 of them. Oh, pedophile.
1980,
1980.
Ozzie Myers,
Ozzie Myers, what did he do?
he accepted money from undercover FBI agents, supposedly as an Arab chief.
They set him up. That's a setup. If he got busted for picking up finance from undercover FBI agents, that's a setup. So he probably
That's entrapment.
That's interesting.
that's entrapment, definitely. Which is which is a crime, right? Right? So now the thing is this. Why? Because he could have been ready to whistle blow. He could have been speaking truth, but they all do that. They all take a fight. Listen, all y'all got to do is look, pick your favorite senator, right? And just look at their net worth.
Probably millions.
The majority of them are millionaires. Y'all know what their salary is a year?
$1 million.
Not at all. Not hardly. Who?
A year?
Not hardly no million. They get 6 figures, but it's low 6 figures. They don't make 250. They don't make 250 a year.
They're
Google it.
making a lot more than the citizens.
Understand my point. Understand my point. That the majority of them are millionaires. The majority of them are millionaires. Where are they getting that finance? Listen. Miss Phillips makes $170,000 a year, right? Now, she get $170,000 a year. How long is it going to take her to become a millionaire? Let's just say she get that 170. No, forget it all depends. We using mathematics. So with mathematics, the only thing that matters is mathematics. Not it all depends. We talking straight to the point, subject matter. If she's getting $170,000 a year, how long does it take before she becomes a millionaire? It's not 10 years. We talking 170 million. We talking 7 years. Technically for her to become a millionaire, right? Okay. Now, she got a house. She got a car. Exactly. That's for saving every penny, right? So that brings me to the next one. She got a house, she got a car, she has children, she has bills, she has expenses, she goes on vacation. So now, that 170 done already went down below 100. So how long does it take for her to become a millionaire? Forget it all depends. I'm talking, listen. It takes a while. Let's stop the nonsense. It takes a while. They are all mostly millionaires. They are all mostly millionaires. Listen, they all ain't writing books. No, it's not. See, the thing is this. What that senator that she talked about got busted for is what they all do. Y'all go watch House of Cards with Kevin Spacey, because he's snitching. He whistleblowing for real. He's whistleblowing for real. Watch that show called House of Cards with Kevin Spacey. Listen. All of them lobbyists that y'all keep hearing about paid them senators to push through legislation. That's how they become millionaires. The same thing that dude got busted for by the FBI. The FBI can bust all of them. See, I'll give y'all an example. Any of y'all know who Cory Booker is?
Yes.
Right? Is he a senator then?
Yes.
Right. He used to be the mayor of Newark or something like that.
Yeah. Yes.
When he was the mayor of Newark, he was down in the trenches. He used to get his boots dirty. He used to get down in the mud. He like, bro, come on, let me help you up. Come on, let me get you out of there. He became senator. Listen to how he talks now. Somebody done got you, Cory.
He getting paid.
Look at all of them. Look at all of them. Y'all remember John Street? John Street walked up. Y'all think it's John Street? Y'all think it's John Street would stand right there on what, 10th and Columbia? Where was his other house? Where was his real house? Y'all think because he was serving as mayor and he stayed at 10th and Columbia? Oh man, he put it, man. He full of shit. Because he lived. Where's his other house? How come he don't live there now? How come he don't live there now? If that was his house, how come he doesn't live there now? He ain't mayor no more. Ain't nobody acting. He don't need them cars sitting out front no more. Why doesn't he still live there? Because he fucked up. Listen, it was some kind of scandal, maybe 2 years ago, going on right here in the city, right? And all this time I was like, man, I ain't heard from John Street. John Street was the president of the corporation that was on Water River. They're all criminals. They're all criminals. You know why I say all of them? Because they know they participate in fraud. They treasonous people. John Street was the mayor.
I don't know.
Oh, that's right. You were out of town. I forgot. John Street was the mayor.
Setenra,
Yes,
you say they all dealing in fraud, right?
yes.
Example is the current mayor, Kenny, right?
Huh?
The thing with the sugar tax, that's fraud. That's fraud. Of course, some of that money is going to the Democratic Party here in Philly, instead of the children.
How can they put a tax on juice? Only juice. What is it, by the ounce? How you put a tax on juice by now? Now, I'm gonna tell you what makes me mad. What makes me mad? What's up, Roz?
Hey, it's Islam.
Islam.
Good to be here.
It's Raheem. What up, homie?
Peace, Noble. Ain't
Nice to
nothing.
hear what's happening. What's up?
Glad to be back.
Been a couple of days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Only 7, you know,
Okay.
couple weeks.
It's only right. It's only 7.
Could say it was a year. Depends. Couple years.
What's up? Oh yeah, I already know about this. Talking about corrupt politicians, and this is only the tip of the iceberg, right? So Seth Williams has been fined $62,000 for ethics violations, right? Ethics violations. So he's under federal indictment. That's the district attorney,
Our district attorney?
their district attorney.
Now? I mean, yes.
Right now, he's under federal indictment. Seth Williams, I just happen to know somebody on the inside of that office. Seth Williams has thrown his guys under the bus. He got a couple of his guys going to jail, right? But the things that they did, they were looking out for him, right? So he's throwing cats under the bus. He got that 62,000 violation for ethics violations. But they trying to put the Fed, now that's not from the feds. That's from the city. That's from the corporation where he got that from. That ain't got nothing to do with the feds. The feds trying to put him away. The feds are trying to put Joe Williams away. They both under federal indictment. The sheriff and the district attorney.
Are they related?
Nah.
In crime.
They will be though when they be sharing the book together. Yeah, they be showering together. They'll be related then. I'm gonna push past them next two sections so we can push on because I don't want to infringe upon that dude's time. Oh well, that's the alarm. I'm out of time.
Well,
Yeah.
back to that juice. I've been through that. I fought a lot of these stores. They say over 50% they tax. So if the juice is 50% pure, anything, they tax. That's where they get it. Because the people that make the juice is being taxed. And they tax you because it's over 50%. Anything under that.
We talking about a different tax, James.
Well,
In
I'm
Philly,
talking about the juice.
right? But in Philly,
Sure, same thing.
right? But yeah, the sugar tax in Philly, they put any beverage that you buy that has sugar in it.
Yeah.
They just passed. I think what was it, January 1st?
Yeah.
Or somewhere around there, they have put a tax on it per ounce, right? So they said the 6-pack of soda that you would normally buy for 7 notes is now over 10, right? Now, here's where I get pissed off. Here's where I get irritated. Why y'all keep buying?
Right. Or go out of
All
town.
the sugar, like how they put it in like
And that proves what? You know what I'm saying? That proves what? That proves nothing. If we take sugar and dump it in the river, that proves nothing. But if we don't buy it, then you making some noise. Just don't buy no juice. Just don't buy. Listen, if you listen, you can go home, you can brew some tea, you can make iced tea, or you can go outside into the county and buy some juice. Don't buy it. If you don't buy it, they don't get. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you gotta know that anytime you want to hurt them, it's always right here, because that's the only thing they care about. Can y'all quiet down, please? Anytime you want to hurt them, it's going to be in the pocket. It's got to be in the pocket. Because that's it. It's capitalism for them. Everything is about capitalism. Everything is about finance. For people who smoke. I ain't going to tell you to stop smoking because from what I understand, it's harder to get off of heroin than it is off of cigarettes. Well, easier to get off of heroin than it is to get off of cigarettes. Right? So I'm not going to tell you to say, all right, stop smoking. What I'm going to say is this. Don't buy it here. Cripple them. Don't let them cripple you. You can cripple them by just not buying. All right, so you gotta drive to Cheltenham. Big deal. Big deal. Imagine if everybody from right here on Broad Street, all the way back to 5th Street, right, and from Alany all the way down to Erie. Do you know how many people that is? You got a clue how many people live in that little bit of space? You're probably talking 10,000 people. Now, if they don't buy the juice, that's a lot of finance that they're not collecting, right? And then what if they talk to their family, and then we stretch it from Alany down to Lehigh, and from 5th Street all the way up to 21st Street. And then the whole city just stopped buying them anything for sugar. And then what? Now they are crippled. Now they are crippled. You gotta cripple them in their pocket. That's the only thing they understand. You listen, all right. Now I understand the protesting. Go dump the sugar. It might be funny, but it's not gonna be effective. You know what I'm saying?
Put the wigs on, powder, dress up like ourselves again. Read again.
Give him the mic.
He was checking the genetics for male and female and the genetics of frogs. He loves doing it. He come to find out in pesticide why these frogs are changing sex. Male frogs are going after the male, and the females are going after the male. You go on YouTube and listen. Now, he found out this was going on, and he tried to tell him not to do that. So everyone's telling you this. They found the truth now. They're putting it in the saccharin, in the sugar. Our people always do the opposite of what they're supposed. They're putting that sex hormone in the sugar. It's very deep.
Saccharin. There's a book called The History of a Crime. There's a book called The History of a Crime. It might be a little hard to get, but they talk about when saccharin was first being put into the system, right? I'm thinking it was Eisenhower who was president, and there was a guy who was heading up the food administration for the so-called government, and everything that he spoke about, they said was gold. They appreciated everything that he told them about. If he said a certain food was poison, then they said it was poison. If he said a certain food was good, he said that they said the food was good. Now somebody asked him about saccharin. When somebody said something about saccharin, he just jumped out and he said, anybody that takes saccharin is an idiot. Anybody that takes saccharin is a fool. Saccharin is toxic, it's poison, it will do this to your cells, it will do this, that, and the third. The president said, whoa, wait a minute. Are you sitting there telling me that saccharin is toxic? And he said, by all means. He said, well, anybody who thinks saccharin is toxic is a fool, because my doctor's been giving me saccharin for the past couple weeks, and I take 2 weeks. So the same man that could have kept saccharin out of the food was deemed an idiot and a fool by the president of the corporation. So then they booted him, and now saccharin was allowed to go just like that. Saccharin, aspartame, the whole nine. All of that Splenda, all of that other kind of sugars and all of them things you use. All of that stuff, toxic. If you think that because you get a diet drink that you did yourself some good, read the label. Aspartame. Chewing gum, aspartame. Candy, aspartame. You listen, find out if they put aspartame in rat poison.
Yep.
They might.
Yep.
It's poisonous. It's toxic.
Yep.
The easiest thing to do, y'all, if you want to rebel from here. I ain't even get a chance to get into this. I apologize. You know, we be going. But I'll keep this. I'll bring this back to the next class. Yes? You don't have this? Got some copies right here. Don't hold on to this. We gonna get at this. We got to. I want to, Abdullah said he needed a bit of time, so I don't want to not allow my man to have his time. That's my teacher. That's like my mentor when I came into Moorish science. So whenever he's ready, we'll bring him up. But before we bring him up, any questions about anything before we want to bring Abdullah up? Any comments? Want to welcome? Wherever they are, I don't know where they are. But, so,
There was a request for, we can bring in more.
request if we can bring in more.
Yeah.
I request you all go on Amazon and get it. All that? I'm gonna wait. You ready? All right, come on. Abdullah's gonna talk to y'all for a minute. Y'all already know, man. This dude was my teacher, my mentor for a solid 2 years. Gave me all kinds of tools, all kinds of instruments. Got me ready to stand up here in front of y'all and talk to y'all. But y'all know for a long time, his focus was here on this book called Moors and Masonry. And he finally finished it, and he finally got it published. Actually, I ain't even gonna say he finished it, because it ain't finished yet. It's connected, so we got plans. It ain't finished yet. It's still 5 parts coming. This is just the first part. This is just the beginning of it, right? So you're just getting your feet wet with this book. But Moors and Masonry, Abdullah will tell you it's his life's work. And support it, get the book. I think he got some copies of it. I got 1 copy left up here. If he don't have no more back there. But yeah, I can't say enough about this dude. I like to call him a walking encyclopedia.
Excuse me.
Because that's just what the brother is. But he's solid. He's a solid author. He's a solid teacher. He's a solid dude. So I'm going to turn the mic over and give it up to my man. Abdullah to be Mosi.
Right. Yes, it's finally done. This is part 1. Part 2, we get out at the end of the year. Part 2, Moors and Masonry. All right? I was in Columbus, Ohio for a book signing, or Columbus, Ohio for a book signing last weekend. And it was very, very interesting, and quite a few questions were thrown at me. When the book first came out, I took it to Black and Nobel, and there was a brother there who asked me a bag of questions about the information, though I was coming from a scholarly perspective, he was not. He had no information to support his claims, all right? His claim was that we didn't enslave Europeans. His claim is that, we had no wars with any Europeans or any Africans or anybody. We lived in a utopia, you know what I mean? There was no wars and no tribute payments, no. I said, well, where do you get your information from, brother? Support your claim. Of course, he couldn't support his claims. Sister Delilah in 2010, I don't know if you remember this. She asked me, and I was teaching Moors about my research at Thindies. She asked me in 2010 about did I find any documentation on land battles, battle on land in North America, Central Africa with us and Europeans. Because my research led me to sea battles, tribute payments, captivity, ransom, all right? That was in 2010, almost 7 years ago. I think I remember that. So I focused my theses around showing, re-examining the transatlantic slave trade story. The question that I posed when I was at Columbus, Ohio, what would it take for the Spaniards, which are Castilians and the Aragonese, the Dutch, the Spanish, the Portuguese, and the English and French, to transport 10 million, maybe 4 or 5 million, what they call Africans, from the continent of Africa to North America, Central America, and South America. One, you would have to have sea power. We're not talking about the number of ships, whether it's possible or not. You first have to have control of the seas. I am going to show you with documentary evidence that the Spaniards, the French, the Dutch, the Portuguese, during the 5th, even back to the 1000s, 1100s, 1200, 13, 14, 1600, did not have control of the seas like that. One of my co-workers asked me in September 2011, when I was talking to him, it was the first day of school at Woodrow Wilson. He asked me, he said, "Mr. I was talking about my research for the book." He asked me, history teacher, a brother. He asked me, "Mr. Bey, how did the Europeans come into world power and dominance?" That's easy. How? By defeating the Moors. That's documented. Now, because when people come at me, because they don't know it, doesn't mean information doesn't exist. That shows the limitation of their research. They don't base what you base your limitation, all right, on me. Because you don't know it, doesn't mean it's not so. That's not scholarly. It's not scholarly. All right? Now, so I'm just throwing these points at you before I get warmed up here. So I'm going to give you some points into which to re-examine your Pennsylvania slave trade when you talk to your family members, co-workers, friends, or whomever, so-called scholars, or whoever you want to call them. All right? I'm going to give you some points of reference. All right? So now, I'm going to write these on the board. Can you bring this up some, or is this too far back? All right, need some help, please? Can I have some help, please? Some help, please? Like right here. Thank you. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, all right. All right, there you go. Good, good. I don't want to be way back there. All right. Looking at points to analyze. Points. I had markers too. To analyze. Right. Forward. Tribute, write these down. Tribute treaty. Tribute payments. Wars. Captivity on both sides. Ransom. Payments. Seizing ships. Letters. Petitions, where you had European women who petitioned on behalf, petitioned the various kings and queens of Europe, France, the Netherlands to intervene or to negotiate the release of their loved ones held in Moorish captivity. So petition. Okay. It's a document. European redemption. European redemption orders. European redemption orders. redemption orders. Redemption missions. We're being sent out on redemption missions to negotiate the release and pay for the ransom for the release of Europeans held in Moorish captivity. All right. Ransoming. Captives. That's on both sides. A redemption of European easier way to present this information. Easy way to present this, points to analyze. This information is not known to the general public. Points to analyze the transatlantic slave trade story in this context. In order for the Portuguese, the Spaniards, the French, the Dutch, the back and forth. See, what we're taught, indoctrinated into believing, is that the European powers, the African kings and queens sold Africans into slavery to the Europeans. The Europeans were going back and forth, year after year, 10,000, 20,000, 40,000, 50,000, 7,000, 200,000, 500,000, 300,000, 2 million, 4 million, back and forth. No discussion about wars. No discussion about their ships being seized by us. No discussion of Moors having Europeans held in captivity. No discussion of this. Come on, African scholars. Where you at? Where you at? This is major point of analysis. Major. We don't go past this. This is major. One of the questions that was posed to me at Columbus, one of the brothers asked me, he said, he made a statement, it wasn't a question. He said that the Europeans have been controlling the world for over 2,000 years. I said, that's a lie. That's a lie. Back that up. He said, over 2,000 years, all right? Over 2,000 years. So it's what, 2006? So, from 7/11 to what? 1492. That's before 2,000 years ago, right? That's before 2,000 years ago. That's 7/11, 1492. There is a 3-volume book called The History of the Moorish Empire in Europe. S.P. Scott, volumes 1, 2, and 3. We have the Stanley Poole, Moors in Spain. Moors after Spain. Stanley Poole and Lieutenant J.D. Kelly. I'm going to read something from you for you. This is a book review. This Linda Cowley, professor of history at Princeton University. She taught at Yale in the 70s. Her co-workers, her colleagues, European male colleagues, verbally attacked her. They get angry about the exposure of this information. Why? Linda Cowley, European, well-claimed in her field. She's recognized and well-claimed awards upon awards. Right? She has a book called Captive Empire, Britain, Empire, and the World. I'm going to read part of a book summary, book review. Deb Dalrymple is there, he wrote the book review. And I referenced her in my book, Moors and Masonry. Coming up now. William Dalrymple is fascinated by little colonies, that's Colley, forgotten tales of British defeats in India and North Africa and captives. However, this captives, Britain, empire in the world, 1600 to 1850. 1600 to 1850, so now that's before 2,000 years ago, right?
Right.
However, in Paris, we may be by our former Raj, R-A-J means what? Ruler, that's Sanskrit, Raj, A-A-R-A-J, heroes, those have-locks and Napier's swaggering imperiously on their plinths in Tafflair Square, or starting potentiously ossified and cocky clay all the way up White Hill. That's not what all right. Colley's thesis is that the unprecedented military success and world political and economic domination achieved by the Victorian British has blinded us to the smallness and vulnerability of Britain in the preceding 2.5 centuries. After all, she points out, as late as 1715, the British army was no larger than that commanded by the King of Sardinia, while in the same period there were at least 20,000 British civilians enslaved in the Barbary Sultanate of North Africa. All right? It is significant that this surprises us as much as it does. It is as if the Victorians colonized not just one quarter of the globe, but also more permanently our imagination, to the exclusion of all other images of British encounter and collision with the wider world from the Elizabethan period onward. Colley shows the extent to which tales of British weakness and defeat at the hands of the sophisticated Muslim states in North Africa, the Middle East, and India have been constantly edited out of the historical record. Tremendous naval power. How can they get the slave trade off? By covering this up. I'm mentioning it. So what's etched in our minds is that we came from Africa. What they also, now really gotta look at this. It presents us in a position of weakness. Weakness. Look how the Europeans reconstruct history. It is all, when there's in any writings, this is from so-called African scholars too, when there's any writings about the Asiatics and Europeans, it's either they're shooting us, they having us in chains, show pictures or documentaries, all right, they're lynching us, they're putting us in the holes and galleys. It's never this. You never see anything like this. No discussion, no images like this. No pictures like this. You never see any pictures like this in the public. In fact, Ali, brother who hosted the class at Maryland, he said, I'm gonna put this on Facebook. Man, you don't see this nowhere. Nowhere. No pictures like this. Nowhere. All right. Why not? Come on, African scholars.
Skills reconstructed history.
Come on, African scholars. So this concept of this European world power and domination during 1100s, 12, 13, 1400s, 15, 1600s.
Download your free Moorish Directory app today.
1600s. So, continuing here. Now, the transatlantic slave trade story claimed that the Europeans transported 10 million Africans from the continent of Africa to the Americas from the 1500 to the 1800. All right? Also, during which time the European powers were colonizing the Americas. So what I did was, I analyzed, I placed this information in that time period.
Yes.
I'm going to continue. I'm going to read some points in the book. I'm going to go to the bibliography, page 207. One of the questions that was asked is there a lot of research material on this subject matter? Doggone right there is. All right? We'll just read some points on the bibliography. Nabir Matar, who teaches at history professor at University of Minnesota, Islam in Britain, 1558 to 1685. Paul Bagler, the Barbary captivity narrative in early America. White slaves, African masters, an anthology of American Barbary captivity narratives. W. Lord Close, The Naval War, A History from the Earliest Times to the Present, 7 volumes, London, 1897 to 1903. Quotes from the book: at least 466 English ships was with perhaps 5,600 English men were taken between 1609 and 1616. White Gold, The Extraordinary Story of Thomas Pellow and Islam's 1 Million White Slaves by Charles Milton. Christian captives at hard labor in Algiers, 16th to 18th century, International Journal of African Historical Studies. Linda Cowley, Captives, The Story of Britain's Pursuit of Empire and How its Soldiers and Civilians Were Held Captive by the Dream of Global Supremacy, 1600 to 1850. Michael Bousson, Slaves and Englishmen, Human Bondage in the Early Modern Atlantic World. Kenneth Parker, Reading Barbary in Early Modern England, 1550 to 1685. Catherine N. Steyer, Barbary Pirates, British Slaves in the Early Modern Atlantic World, 1570 to 1800, PhD dissertation, University of Pennsylvania, 2011. All right. Turks, Moors, and Englishmen in the Age of Discovery. All right. Warfare at Sea, 1500 to 1650. Maritime conflict and the transformation of Europe. Ottoman territoriality versus maritime usage. The Ottoman islands and English privateering in the wars with France, 1689 to 1714. Robert C. Davis, Christian slaves, Muslim masters, white slaves in the Mediterranean, the Barbary coast in Italy, 1500 to 1800. In fact, on the back of that cover, I quote Robert Davis, professor of history at Ohio State University. The enslavement of Europeans doesn't fit the general theme of European world conquest and colonization. that is central to scholarship on the early modern era. People say blacks had whites and slaves. Surprisingly, they'll say. All right? Spanish captives in North Africa in the early modern age. Got over 100 books listed here. This was, Now, these all, I also have state records. This is from the National Archives. They're called state papers. State papers, these are letters and diplomatic relations, correspondence between us and European powers. All right? Questions before I go on? Does it make sense? I don't know what I'm talking about. When anyone say they don't know, I don't know what I'm talking about, they have to show me. Saying it means nothing to me. That means nothing. Nothing. Show me, do documentary evidence, or show me what I have in this book is not substantiated.
Abdullah,
Right? Question?
Abdullah,
Yes.
during the Crusades, what time period was that?
You're looking at 1100s to 1350, or 1100 to 1250. All right, let's talk about that. 711 to 1492, we control Al-Andalusia. Not only what they call Spain, but other parts, southern France, in early 700s. All right, Greece. All right, Italy. So Portugal. So that in Cordova, we had a library that housed 600,000 books. Now, Ivan Sertera edited the book, The Golden Age of the Moors. There's 40 pages of bibliography. There's 20 articles. There's a compilation of 20 articles. You know, Everett Scobie, Ivan Sertera has 2 articles. Wayne Chandler, Jose Pimiente Bey, Orinoco Rashidi, but not one talks about this. They talk about the contribution of medicine, surgery, poetry, philosophy. They didn't talk about wars, tribute payments, ransom. My question is, why not? They do this. 40 pages of bibliography. 40 pages. 40, not 4, 40 pages of bibliography. 40 in the Golden Age of the Moors. Why Orinoco Rashidi? Jose Pimiente Bey. He did a 3-hour lecture on YouTube. In a 3-hour lecture, Jose Pimiente Bey, Temple University dissertation, now at somewhere in Virginia. He's only talked for 3 minutes about this. He talked about the contribution, but there's 3 minutes on this. Why's that? Oh yeah, when Europeans, say that we had all slavery, and I do as a counter, they balance things off. I say that my ancestors had all slavery. Then I'm saying he didn't do a lecture on it. It was just that he went on. That should be the major issue. I'm talking, I got you. My point is what they're not saying. Not what they're saying. What they're not saying. Why is this the information? Why is this the focus on the contribution? I'm down with that, that's fine. I give kudos to Ivan Sertera, Everett Scobie, yes. But why not this? Yes.
My question would be, are they, because, a lot of that, they keep all that stuff hidden. Are they Freemasons? A lot of them are finding out they are Freemasons, which are, cultic. They're not going to reveal that information.
They're not going to reveal, so they're only revealing a certain amount of information, i.e. the surgery to thesis, the philosophy and poetry and, they revealed that. It's extensive. The Golden Age of the Moors is extensive. He had, 40 pages of bibliography. That's extensive. I highly recommend we get that. But there was no discussion on our enslaved Europeans. Nothing like this. I don't hear any African scholars talking this at all. Yes.
Remember when Ivan came to Temple, the secretary talked to me because I talked to him and I asked him, why don't you just tell these people that they're Moors and stop mixing the black thing? And I talked about the bond bills. And he said, there's enough information that they should figure it out. He said, if you tell them directly, they'll report it.
All right. All right, you still have a choice, though. You still have a choice.
And others too, know that too. Same thing with Dr. Banner.
You know how many co-workers said, you know how many people said to me? Over 50 people have said to me, they're gonna get you. Over the past, when I put this book cover out 5 years ago, co-workers were afraid, shaking, nervous for me. I'm standing right now with this book in my hand. I got a choice. I got a choice. All right? So you still got a choice. Well, I'm not going to write the book. They're going to kill me. And? All right, and? Say that all. And? I want something else. That's my attitude. I don't expect y'all to take that. That's me. That's me. I don't expect y'all to take that position. That's me. That's me. That's my position. I don't expect anyone else to take that position. That's my position. That's my position. All right? I'm for my people. If I can leave a legacy behind, whether I'm alive or dead, that can change the course of people's minds to free our people, I'm in the grave, so be it. That's my attitude, and it ain't going to change. Don't even talk to me. Because if you talk to me, try to convince me, talk me out of it, I will walk away from it. I'm telling you right now. You try to convince me out of continuous work, I will turn my back on you and walk away. I don't have no discussion with that. This is my position. All right? I had many people try to convince me, talk me out of it. All right? I turned a deaf ear to it. All right? That's my position. Move right along. Any other questions, comments, criticism? I just said it out.
Remember when Ben said through all his struggles?
Oh yes, Dr. Ben, been documented. Yes, 20 years ago we saw that it was a VHS tape. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we did that thing for him in Brooklyn too. Dr. Ben said with all his struggles when he was coming up, going to the different universities, struggling, he said he never really got an education until he went to the Moorish University.
He said that the climax of his education is when he went to the Moorish University of Spain. Dr. Ben did not write near book on the Moors. If that's the climax of his education, the climax, what does that mean? Climax of his education. He didn't write one book on the Moors. Black, 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 blah, 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 black, 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 black. I don't want to hear it would have got it. He had a choice.
Yep.
My response is he had a choice. That's my response. That whole thing is, it's always we try to dismiss, it would have gotten him. He can't really tell the truth. Well, why not? Hold on, hold on. He can tell a lie. My thing is, don't say nothing at all. All right, you can't tell the truth, no problem. Don't say nothing at all. Don't say nothing at all. Don't write no books. But he wrote books. He pushing a lie. Don't write no books. If you're not going to tell the truth, don't say nothing. I mean, that's my position. Don't say anything. But if you're making finance, it's pushing a lie. And say, you know, see, it would have gotten me if he told the truth. But he made finance pushing a lie. I mean, let's keep it real, y'all. Keep it real. I mean, come on. Yes. I care rat's ass what he was. I give rat's ass what he was. I give rat's ass what he was.
How about Mouse Keisters?
I ain't making no damn excuses. Stop that! Continue right along. Do we have this?
Yeah.
All right, good, good. I had a discussion with Friday night with a brother, Thursday night, and was over the phone, Bobby Dean's uncle. I know Bobby Dean for years, time ago. And I was explaining to him about my book and my research, and showing him, presenting my information to prove that we're Moors without a shadow of doubt. He listened to me, but didn't digest what I had said to him. I talked about the tremendous naval power, Moorish naval power, during the time period of the 15, 16, 1700, even went back to Moors controlling Al-Andalus and other parts of Europe. 700, 800, 900, 11, 1200. And he went on, when the Hijra turned to speed, he talked about 2,000 or 3,000, 4,000 years ago. All right, let's take an etymological approach. When an etymologist traces a word, all right, to its origin, they don't start 5,000 years ago. They don't start 5, 10,000, 2,000. All right, this is the current form of the word. How did this word, this form, get to this? So they what?
They backstep.
They don't do this 5,000 years ago. All right? So why are you joking? I do, I backstep. What European powers had purported to transport Africans to the Americas? Name them. And English. Those 5 had wars with us. Tributes, ransom payments. That's backstep now. That's backstep. Who's in control now? The occupying power called the United States. Now, Michael Oren, here we go. How did they build up their naval power? Their navy. Let me read about Michael Oren. So let's do this backstep now. The occupying power, United States occupying power, that are occupying our land, that are colonizing and occupying Moorish land. What are they doing? Let's talk the state of affairs. The state of affairs of the Moroccan Empire today is under European power, European occupation and colonization. That's a fact. Let's go to Michael Oren. Michael Oren, Columbia University, not student, former student, graduate of Columbia University. He went back and did a lecture He made his professor's mouth drop. Students were shocked by the information. Let me read it. Go right to it. We're not Moors? All right. Let's do this back step now. Michael. Oh, here it is. Columbia News. Here it is. Columbia News. Now, this is not, well, this will be a Moorish Basic Part 2, because the Moorish Basic Part 2 deals with the history, diplomacy, and consular relations between the Moroccan Empire and the United States between 1770 and 1850. That's Part 2. Part 1 is the diplomatic relations between the Moroccan Empire and European powers, 1500s to 1800s. That's what this book's about. Let me read this. Columbia News. The Middle East and the making of the United States, 1776 to 1815. Speech by Michael B. Orman, B.A., 77, MIA, 1978. Senior Fellow, the Shaleen Center, delivered at Columbia University on November 3rd. They didn't have the year indicated. November 3rd. All right, I'm just going to read the article, some of it. Just over 20 years ago, when I was a graduate student in Middle East Studies, I heard a lecture on a group of Civil War veterans, Northerners, and Confederates who had served as advisors to the Egyptian army in the late 1860s and 1870s. Not only did they modernize Egypt's defenses, the professor said, but they also built schoolhouses to teach literacy to Egyptian soldiers and their children. I was stunned. Like most Americans, I assumed that our country's involvement in the Middle East began shortly after World War II. With the advent of the Cold War, the expansion of the Gulf oil production, and the emergence of Arab-Israeli conflict, it never occurred to me that the United States was interacting substantively with the Middle East in the middle of the 19th century and perhaps earlier. I went on to devote my academic career to the history of the United States of Israel and the diplomacy of Arab-Israeli conflict. Yet, throughout, I maintained this closeted fascination with the history of America in the Middle East. I was fascinated by the diplomatic and military dimensions of that history. Did you know, for example, that the U.S. Marines landed no less than 4 times in the Middle East in the 19th century alone, as well as by cultural history, by the impact of the Middle East on the writings of Washington Irving and Herman Melville, on Emerson and Mark Twain. I found that America's involvement in the Middle East followed distinct patterns, three themes that I later labeled power, faith, and fantasy. Power referred to the search for economic and strategic advantages in the Middle East, faith relating to the role of religion, and the particular Protestantism in America's Middle East interaction, and fantasy pertained to the contribution of popular myths about the Middle East and the formation of America's perception of and policies toward the region. All right, let me just skip on. The only question was where to begin. I considered opening my study with the journey of John Ledyard, the first American to explore the Middle East in the late 1780s, or with the first American missionaries to the Middle East, who left Boston in 1819. Only when I started researching in depth did I realize that the roots of the relationship went deeper still to the bedrocks of the American independence and identity, and that of the Middle East played a formative role in the making of the United States. America's involvement in the Middle East, I learned, began on July 4th, than nearly 230 years ago, when the United States suddenly faced the world in the Middle East alone. Prior to that day, American merchant ships had safely sailed the oceans, confident of the protection of history's deepest, greatest navy, Britain's 800 warships strong. I'm going to show you that's a lie. Britain's great, I'm sure that's a big one. I'm going to bust that one up. That safeguard was especially important for Americans, most of whom were centralized, concentrated along the eastern seaboard with its deep water ports and excellent shipbuilding timber, a seafaring people heavily dependent on foreign trade. Right. I'm just skipping. For about 600 years, from the 13th to the 17th centuries, the pirates or corsairs of Barbary preyed on European commerce, taking thousands of prisoners and selling them as slaves in the mines or the galleys. European women were especially prized for their light complexion, fetching premium prices in their harems. Though prisoners could, in theory, be ransomed, the going rates for redemption were invariably high. The lives of most of the slaves, by contrast, were brutal, cruel, and mercifully short. Early colonial Americans also fell victim to pirate attacks, the first being recorded in 1628, only 8 years after the Plymouth landing, with recurrence throughout the century. Of the 390 English captives ransomed from Algiers in 1680, 11 were residents of New England and New York. Such incidents diminished, however, over the course of the 18th century as Europe surged ahead of the Middle East technology militarily, and as Britain developed its unprecedented and unparalleled naval power. Continue. In 1786, Jefferson was serving as America's minister to France, and in that capacity, he came up with the idea of forming an international coalition together with European powers to combat Barbary. He even got his old friend, Marquis de Lafayette, to place the proposal before the various European courts. The Europeans, though, while roundly applauding the idea, just went on paying tribute. Like Orange. The French rejected the very notion of coalition. Jefferson concluded that if were to obtain peace, the United States had to act unilaterally. All right, I'm going to end there. All right, so what I show in Moorish Part 2, as Michael Oren talked about, what he didn't mention here, the tribute treaties between England and Morocco protected the English colonial ships. This relationship, this is heavy right here. So they don't know who the Moors are. Huh? Moors who? Morons. Moors? Who are Moors? So the evidence would be treaties, letters, ambassadors, caliphs, emperors. Who are we? What did the Europeans had? So my question would be, we claim to be whatever. My question, can you prove that? What's the history? Give me some history of this nation ever existing. Questions? You're welcome. I'm going to be here. How much time do I have? All right, I'm going right to the Q&A. All right. Is this useful? Just I'm wasting my time? Or? Yes.
Slave American trade, they changed the name from trans-American trade, slave trade to something else. Was one or two names for that? Because they didn't want you to know that the Europeans were slaves. So we called it something else before it was something else.
Yeah, the papers, I don't know what you just call. All right, Ivan, this word here. All right, that's in the treaties. You mentioned that band, you'll see that band right here. Thank you. Let me explain what this is. The Shriners use that. The Shriners call it, they use the term imperial divan for the structural organization. Where did the Shriners get that from? Did I originate with the Shrine?
No.
I showed you documentary evidence through treaties that did not originate with the Shrine. Let me read 54. I think I'm making this up. This is Treaty of Peace between England and Algeria, November 10th, 1662, Article 2. If a controversy arises between an Englishman and a Turk, the divan shall decree justly concerning it, and shall use their endeavor that the quarrel may be accommodated, and that right and justice be administered to whom it is due. We have here Articles of Peace and Commerce between Great Britain, Tripoli, signed Tripoli, March 15, 1676. In the first place, it is agreed and concluded that from this day and forever forward, there be a true, firm, and invaluable peace between the most serene King of Great Britain, France, and Ireland, defender of the Christian faith, and the most illustrious Lord and Bashar de Alga Divan, and the governors of the city and the kingdom of Tripoli and Barbary, and between all the dominions and subjects of either side, and that the ships or the other vessels and the subject of people of both sides shall not henceforth do to each other any harm, offense, or injury, either in word or deed, but shall treat one another with all possible respect and friendship. All right, so that's reference to Iran. This here is the Moorish Council. This is the executive. All right. The Europeans today, the United States occupying power, substituted Iran for presidential cabinet. Donald Trump is the substitute Grand Wazir. Someone asked me, I was on a radio show back in July, August. They broadcast to the radio show. I was on the phone, and the brother Tahuti, he had me on the phone, and I was at the gallery at the time. And it was being broadcast live from the radio station and at the class in restaurant in Maryland. So he asked me, how does the upcoming election, what does the upcoming election have to do with the Moors? I said, it has everything to do with the Moors. That whoever is going to be elected is going to be elected to the Moorish seat. We keep thinking, thank you, that the seat belongs to them. Donald Trump is a substitute Grand Vizier. They use the title president. This structure's been in place. They didn't establish this structure, family. This structure's been in place for a couple of thousand years. They didn't establish this. They didn't establish any structure. They're using your structure of government. They just substituted what? Name, the Majlis. The Majlis is the legislative branch. So they don't say Divan, they say President of Capital. So the head of the Divan would be the Grand Vizier. I'll write it down. Different spellings. W-A-Z-I-R V-I-Z-I-R V-I-Z-I-E-R, based on the language. All right? Substitute. That's what Donald Trump is functioning as this. Donald Trump is functioning as the substitute Grand Vizier. The seat that Donald Trump is in right now is the seat of the Moorish Grand Vizier. The seat. He, United States Representative, Donald Trump, United States Representative. The seat is not United States. That's not a United States seat. If we had C-SPAN on right now, and you say, yeah, look at the United States government. Got a lot of unconscious folks in this room. You gotta kill that. So watching C-SPAN, right? And you are in Capitol Hill, right? And you say, look at the United States government. Whoa, we gotta qualify that. No, that's too, no. Can't do that. No, gotta kill that. If you say, look at the United States representatives, then we're cool. You say United States government, the seat that they're in, the building that they're in is yours. The building that they're in is yours. The building ain't the United States. So you can't say United States government loosely like that. This is how they traded places with us. And we, 5 minutes?
No, I want to ask you.
Oh, question. You a time man, you know?
No. So if we're not going to say the United States, then how should we say it?
No. I didn't. No. I'm not saying don't say United States. Let me tell you.
No.
All right, let me pause. Let me do it again.
Let me question that. You said don't say United States government loosely, right? Because the building is not the United States.
Right.
But if someone's talking about that government, how should they say it if they're not going to say the United States government?
No, the United States is not a government, so they won't be talking about. If you say somebody's talking about that government, they won't be talking about the United States then.
It's like the corporation.
Yeah, if the word government comes out their mouth, you know that they're not talking about United. In their mind, all right. In their mind, they're thinking United States, in their mind. But they're incorrect. Government, the term United States and government don't go together. One of these things don't belong. The term United States and government don't go together. If somebody writes this, if you see this, that's wrong all day long. I know what they say. I'm talking about y'all. See, don't tell me what they say. They occupiers. Don't tell me what the occupiers say. I know what the occupiers say. I'm talking about y'all. You don't say that. Yes, millions of people say that. They have been indoctrinated with false history to say that. One of my former co-workers said to me, he said, I was explaining to him through documentary evidence. I showed him through documentary evidence. All right? Constitution, Coinage Act, I showed him through documentary evidence that this is not a dollar. His response to me was, Mr. Bey, but everybody in the school calls it a dollar. Hold on, fam. I'm showing you through documentary evidence, Coinage Act, 1792, the United States Constitution, through documentary evidence that this is not a dollar. Your response to me is what? That everybody in the school, Mr. Bey, except you, calls it a dollar. That's unintelligible. That's non-scholarly. You're basing whether this is a dollar or not based on what? I just showed you the supreme law of the land.
Wow.
Coinage Act. All right? So because millions of people say this, all right, millions of people say, yeah, Americans, United States citizen. Yeah, you American? Oh, you're United States citizen. Oh, yeah, you're American? All right. Show me, you cannot show me, that this occupying power, all right, let me write this down so we can. This is in the book called American or United States Citizen. It's coming up, Sister I will talk bang this out next week. You will not see in any official documents this. For example.
Download your free Moorish Directory app today.
You will not see in any building in the world, on a sign or on the building, anywhere in the world, this. In the world. I'm sorry, American
Embassy.
If you do, please show it to me. Go up your phone, please. Somebody put on the phone, I'm challenging y'all. Please show me. I want you to show me a building, anywhere in the world. Show me a building anywhere in the world, I'm challenging you, that has this on a sign outside the building. Show it to me. Don't say, I just want you to show it. I don't want you to tell me that it is. Show me a building anywhere in the world that has that, or this. This is simple, y'all. Simple. Show me that. Any building in the world. They just say it. They say it. They don't write it. They ain't stupid. We are. They don't write this. They'll be challenged with this. American Navy, American Army, sure. American City, send it to somebody, show me. Any letterhead, anything. Nameplate, United Nations, yeah. And United Nations, they won't even say this. Stand up for me, brother. So you go announcing the ambassadors, right? To United Nations. Next, I'm going to bring in the American ambassador to the United Nations. They'll never say that. They won't say American ambassador to the United Nations. I got it. They won't say that. Why not? Why not?
It's a fake government.
Because they know what the name American truly ties to. And they only played that game with our people because we're not in a position to challenge. Meaning their claim is just verbal. They really aren't making a claim. All right, truthfully, family, they aren't really making a claim that they're Americans. They're not. I got you. They're not making a claim that they're Americans. saying it, they haven't written it down though. I'm talking about writing it down. They can say it. They can say it. Show me through documentary evidence and writing where they made the claim. In writing. Show me a federal statute. Show me a federal statute that reads, American shall mean United States citizen. Show me a federal statute. So that claim, they really not making a claim. In writing. Go ahead, Todd.
Remember when they introduced Bill Clinton at the UN, they said the American president and the president of Mexico immediately
There you go.
rebutted.
That was invited. He rebutted. Oh.
And made them make the correction.
Not American.
Exactly.
Can somebody name for me an American state? Someone. No, not for the future, for future. All right, I'll do this for the future. Taj, Ras Mariah, Miz, Annie, Setenra, I gotta name them because they, please do not answer. Please, I beg. I already know y'all. The question's not for y'all. Let me try it again. Can someone name, other than the people I named, please, an American state? Other than, I said Delilah. I didn't miss your name.
Canada.
Can someone name for me an American state?
Colombia.
Colombia, Mexico,
Guatemala, Honduras.
North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida. Massachusetts? And they're not even listed officially, only with somebody, a writer who lies, or not officially as American states. But Brazil, Mexico, and the rest are officially listed, documented as American states. There's an organization called the Organization of American States. North Carolina is not a member. Florida, New Jersey, Massachusetts, all right, are not listed as American states. Yes.
Okay, so, because I'm kind of confused just a little bit. So when they say the states of America, being that they use the word of.
All right. The states of America. Let's analyze that. Let's analyze it dramatically. States of America. In grammar, 5 minutes? In grammar, they're all functions that several based on its syntax. This is functioning as a genitive. That. Verb. All right. Genitive. All right. So, North Carolina, New Jersey, or belonging to America. The land, North, Central, South, and the Jordan Islands. Is North Carolina affixed to the, is New Jersey fixed to the land? It's a paper construct.
Oh, because
On paper,
the 13 colonies.
not land. That's what they see. What this is. All right. The reason why you said yes because of this. said yes because of this. When you were a child, your son going through this right now. You've been indoctrinated since childhood. Yeah. We're going to have a geography test.
Right.
Yeah, we're going to identify the state. First, we're going to learn to identify the 13 colonies. So you see, you got land, see, and time. See, that's a lie. So that's been indoctrinated. See, they got us at a young age, though. Now keep in mind, a young age. That's why you said that. If you were taught the truth from day one, yeah. All right, so you have been, see, it's the false foundation there that's in your mind. New Jersey has nothing to do with land. It doesn't, so it's not New Jersey state of America. It's not tied to America. America is the landmass. That includes North America, Central America, South America. So if you were born in the area of South America, and one of the, let's say, American state, Brazil, it will be properly said you will be born in America. And that's a fact. Yeah. So we have to bring these issues. These European masons are not going to help us. They're not going to help us. I can convince, I have a better chance, and I'm doing it, to convince our brothers and sisters or making the stars to help us. I have no fighting chance, none, to convince European masons to help me, none. Why would European masons help me now? When I work, at Cameron, also at Philadelphia, construction sites, I walk by, I see European males. I see European males. Our brothers and sisters are in jails. I'm talking about at Camden, downtown Camden. Our brothers and sisters are in the jails. Our brothers and sisters are what, selling Lucy's, running from Dunkin' Donuts, Rite Aid, I know what I'm talking about. Said I know what I'm talking about. All right? Store, clarified chicken, like you want to buy Lucy, selling drugs. European males across the street, been there for 2 years. 95% European males, new trucks. Why would those European males, I'm practical, think now. Walk with me. Why would those European males help me raise those people across the street? I'm at the construction site now. I'm taking Mosi to the construction site. They live in suburbs, new trucks. The trucks ain't over 5 years old. All right? I'm going to go to the construction site now. Now I'm going to convince them, European males, live in suburbs. They see that there are people across the street now. Behind the building is the jail. Right? I'm going to convince them, yeah, you see this? Yeah, who are these imposters? So they're looking at themselves. Who are us imposters? Yeah, the pure divan, that belongs to these people across the street. Sovereign Grand Commander, Warrior Monarch, they belongs to the people across the street. The land belongs to the people across the street. Well, those European males, you see their cars, new cars, they live in suburbs, will they be so fired up to help me? I'm practical thinking, y'all. Let's break it down. I'm practical. Why? What is it? They have no vested interest right now. I didn't say 10 years from now. I'm talking about right now, next year, 2 years from now. They don't have a vested interest. They ain't stupid. I'm talking about returning the power to people across the street. They see those people across the street every day in front of the stores, selling Lucy's, drugs, every day. In fact, they walk by when they go to Dunkin' Donuts. Go on lunch break. When they go on their break, Dunkin' Donuts stuff. All right? Little peons and getting homeless and they put their nose down to them. You know what I mean? All that. All right? You think they won't be in the same position. Let's keep it real. They will not be in a position politically culturally, economically, military, you name it. It don't belong to them. It belongs to us by birthright. They wouldn't have a vested interest. Because they would be helping me get them out of power. I can at least convince my brothers and sisters, based on these thoughts, to help. Why? It belongs to them. Yes. 5 minutes? Time to go? All right, let's cut it. I want to thank you again. All right? Until next time, please. The book for sale, 50 notes for the book. The DVD is about the book too. This is 15 for the DVD. I have the back. All right? Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, bro. Before we back up the meeting, there's some people waiting outside. We'll just make a couple.
I was trying to get some movements. Fences.
So,
I'm gonna sign it.
We got another number for the, another calling number for MHHS.
Yeah, let me show. New number. 7 is right there. Just explain to them that, just explain to them when we do that, is that the old number that we had for years, the block talk decided to change, and when they changed it, just to show you how these modern Europeans think about commerce and money and finance only. The old number that we had, sister, the old number that we had, if you call it, they will say to you that the line is filled, and if you want to listen, you can pay. Am I right? Yeah, they say that now. The line is filled and call the other number. They were doing that for a couple of weeks, but now, if you call the old number, it'll say it's full and you can pay. I just want everybody to know that's not us. They're taking advantage of the old number, and it's and we're not getting any payments. So please take note of the new number that he's going to give us.
New number, the new calling number for MHHS, eyes wide open, is 319-527-6751.
All right.
319-527-6751. The other announcement that I want to make is again about the Moorish Masquerade Ball. It will be April 1st. It will be here in Philadelphia. I'm hoping everybody signed in, but I'm going to send out a mass text. We got to get the flyer put together. We'll have that put together tonight, and I'll send out a mass text to everybody so everybody will have the donation information. It's only 35 notes, and it'll be at Temptations Banquet Hall. If anybody knows what that is, from 9 to 2, April 1st. You can come in Moorish garb. If you don't come in Moorish garb, then you got to come in formal dress. No exception. No jeans, no sweatpants, no sneakers, no boots, no nothing.
Say the name again, please.
Say the name of what? It's at Temptations Banquet Hall. Temptations Banquet Hall. I'm thinking that's 218 West Shelton Ave. But like I said, the flyer, I'll get the flyer done tonight, tomorrow morning, and then you'll all have information by tomorrow. You'll be able to go onto the site. You'll be able to make your donation to the site and print your tickets at the site. The next class is February 11th. So until then, peace, love, and Islam. One more announcement. Sister Lisa. Why don't you write it down and find out what that is? Because you heard of the state of Rhode Island, and you heard of the state, well, Providence is in Rhode Island right now, but you heard of the state of Massachusetts. Well, Google that and see what that's about. Because it's in the Constitution, so that term, that word plantation should have caught everybody. When vacancies happen in a representation from any state, the executive authority thereof shall issue writs of election to fill such vacancies. The House of Representatives shall choose their speaker and their other officers, and shall have the sole power of impeachment. Section 3. The Senate of the United States shall be composed of 2 senators from each state, chosen by the legislature thereof, for 6 years, and each senator shall have 1 vote. Immediately after they shall be assembled, in consequence of the first election, they shall be divided as equally as may be into 3 classes. The seats of the senators of the first class shall be vacated at the expiration of the 2nd year, the 2nd class at the expiration of the 4th year, and the 3rd class at the expiration of the 6th year, so that 1/3 may be chosen every 2nd year, and if vacancies happen by resignation or otherwise during the recess of the legislature of any state, the executive thereof may make temporary appointments until the next meeting of legislature, which shall then fill such vacancies. Now, you heard me say that they are elected for a period of 6 years, but at the expiration of every 2nd year, that they do elections. One of the first class, and at the 4th year, the 2nd class, and at the 6th year, the 3rd class. You can either Google that, or you can go to the class that we did on the Constitution, because I thoroughly broke that down so people would clearly understand. See, when you're talking about people who are making decisions for people, you should know what their jobs are. You should know what that Congress doesn't have the people's best interests. That Congress has their pockets' best interests, their prosperity's best interests. They don't eat the same foods you eat. They don't go to the same schools you go to. They don't even got the same health care. Y'all know that they got the health care that they...
Universal.
Y'all hear about how much people pay health care? Some people, y'all know what kind of health care they got.
Universal. Free.
Their health care is banking. They can get whatever they need, whatever they want. They can go to whatever doctor, they can go wherever they want. And exactly. They got the health care that you should have. They're supposed to be representing you. But instead, they're taking finance from the pharmaceutical companies, they're taking finance from them insurance companies to pass certain legislation to keep you where you are. But they're supposed to be representing you. Now, when they take that oath, when they stand there, they put their hand on that book, and they take that oath, they're supposed to be bound by law, right? It don't matter which book it is. If I want to, I can get Miss Phyllis to hold this, and I can put my hand, because it's my book, right? This is the book that I believe in. So it don't matter which book it is, I put my hand on it, and I hold my right hand up, and I say, I duly affirm to do this, that, or the third. Now, if I take that oath, I'm bound by that oath. And then if I break that oath, then I'm bound by the law. Nobody's Nobody calls them the law.
4-0.
4-0? What's 4-0?
4 is prior to May 10th. Oh, is after May 10th. They adopted for the foreign corporation that was bankrupt as their private law.
December, unless they shall by law appoint a different day. The Congress shall assemble at least once in every year, and such meeting shall be on the first Monday in December, unless they shall by law appoint a different day. See, when I read that, that makes me think about something, right? When was it that they had that secret meeting? Christmas Day? What happened? No, we ain't talking Berlin. I'm waiting for somebody to tell me what I'm
Talking about the bankers' holiday?
Yes,
Who?
We talking about the bankers' holiday?
yes.
What happened?
Oh, what happened during the bankers' holiday?
What happened?
They drafted the Federal Reserve Act.
Right, right.
That was a secret meeting
Right.
Yeah, it was a secret meeting on
over the Christmas holiday.
on Jekyll Island.
But it's a Congress shall assemble at least once in every year, and such meeting shall be on the first Monday in December, unless by law they appoint a different day.
You're right. But they did anyway.
Who appointed that day?
Who was it?
Does it, yeah, so they didn't meet on the first December to do that,
No,
and the first Monday in December to do that.
it was Christmas.
They did that over the Christmas when they was on break for Christmas, right?
Right. Right. Right.
Go ahead.
And they didn't have the authority to do it anyway.
Do y'all get what I'm going? Let me take y'all with me. They had a secret meeting in Congress, some senators. They had a secret meeting. And then they came up with, it's not a said, Federal Reserve Act. And they telling you that it's law. Now, we already established that after 1861, that Congress is a fraudulent Congress. And excluding Indians taxed 3/5 of all other persons. Now when you get the opportunity, I want you to go back and I want you to review that section. That's in section 2, article 1 of the Constitution. That can be somewhat some homework, a little bit of research for you to do. I'll read it again right quick. Representatives and direct taxes shall be apportioned among the several states which may be included within this union, according to their respective numbers, which shall be determined by adding the whole number of free persons, including those bound to service for a term of years, and excluding Indians not taxed, 3/5 of all other persons. The actual enumeration shall be made within 3 years after the first meeting of the Congress of the United States, and within every subsequent term of 10 years. In such manner as they shall by law direct. The number of representatives shall not exceed 1 for every 30,000. But each state shall have at least 1 representative until such enumeration shall be made. The state of New Hampshire shall be entitled to choose 3. Massachusetts, 8. Rhode Island and Providence Plantations, 1. Connecticut, 5. New York, 6. New Jersey, 4. Pennsylvania, 8. Delaware, 1. Maryland, 6. Virginia, 10. North Carolina, 5. South Carolina, 5. And Georgia, 3. How many of y'all heard of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations? So for everybody who has not heard of Rhode Island and Providence Plantation, duties are, you should know what their rights and their capabilities are. This Constitution lays it all out right here for you. That can be a bit more homework. No person shall be a senator who shall not have attained the age of 30 years and been 9 years a citizen of the United States, and who shall not, when elected, be an inhabitant of the state for which he shall have been chosen. The Vice President of the United States shall be the President of the Senate, but shall have no vote unless they be equally divided. The Senate shall choose their officers, and also a President pro tempore in absence of the Vice President, or when he shall exercise the office of President of the United States. The Senate shall have sole power to try all impeachments. Who has the power of impeachment? No. We just read it. It says the Senate shall have the sole power to try all impeachments. So who has the power of impeachment? The House of Representatives. When sitting for that purpose, they shall be on oath or affirmation. When the President of the United States is tried, the Chief Justice shall preside, and no person shall be convicted without the concurrence of 2/3 of the members present. Judgment in cases of impeachment shall not extend further than the removal from office and a disqualification to hold and enjoy any office of honor, trust, or profit under the United States. But the party convicted shall nevertheless be liable and subject to indictment, trial, judgment, and punishment according to the law. Section 4. The times and places and manner of holding elections for senators and representatives shall be prescribed in each state by the legislature thereof. But the Congress may at any time, by law, make or alter such regulations except as to the places of choosing senators. The Congress shall assemble at least once every year, and such meeting shall be the first Monday in